Here I am again, out here on the wild frontier. Wild frontier being Western Virginia, Southwest Virginia. Pretty much during the time of the French and Indian War, and just a few miles east of Cumberland Gap, gateway to west or to Kentucky. And during that period, the French and Indian War time, and of course prior to that, a little while after, life out here on this frontier could be precarious, to say the least. There was a lot of danger. I mean, the area, of course, like I said, was home to Cherokee and the Shawnee. It was the hunting grounds of the Cherokee and the Shawnee. It was an area in which, for some time, the long hunters, the people across the other side of the Appalachian, would come over here to hunt. But the long hunters, they'd come over here and spend quite a bit of period of time hunting for a living. What they were hunting for was what was the number one cash crop at the time: white-tailed deer. White-tailed deer skins, because buckskin was in vogue in Europe and everywhere else. So there was big demand for deer hides. So the long hunters came in here, and then for a little while afterward, the frontiersmen, the settlers, would come into the area, and there was a Fort Shelby just to the east of me, and Martin Station, a fort just to the west, and that was just a few miles shy of Cumberland Gap. But anyway, put up a video on Kibler Woods Runner on the wild frontier. Today I've got another rifle here. This is what we refer to today as a Tennessee poor boy. This is not a copy of a particular rifle, but it's a style of rifle. It's a no frills rifle. It has no muzzle cap. All the hardware on it is iron. It has iron hardware. No brass. It has an iron butt plate. It doesn't have a patch box. It has a grease hole. And it's a heavy rifle. It has a heavy rifle, a heavy barrel. It's a strong rifle. With the strength in this rifle, that metal butt plate with the heel cap on it, it also makes a right passable walking stick in these mountains. That sharp heel down there, it gets a bite in the ground. You can lean on this thing. Makes a good walking staff. It's a good, no-nonsense rifle. It was the kind of a rifle that the average frontiersman, the average long hunter, and even the average mountain man in the fur trade, it's the kind of a rifle that would have been found in the hands of the average man. Like I said, it's a no-nonsense rifle that gives excellent service, but it has none of the frills on it. I guess you could call it, it was the Remington 700, the Savage 110, and the Ruger American of its day. It was an accurate rifle. Could take a lot of punishment. It was just a perfect tool for its time. So out here today, like I do from time to time, this being fantastic hunting grounds for both the Cherokee and the Shawnee and the long hunters and the frontiersmen even later. This area in back in the 1700s was home to the buffalo, elk, white-tailed deer, the mountain lion, the wolf, black bears in abundance. Abundance of bears and turkeys. Lots and lots of turkeys. The turkeys were thick. Turkeys were plentiful. And unlike most of the wild turkeys today, they were pretty much like a lot of the blue grouse are in the Rocky Mountains right now. They're not real human shy. Anything but, as a matter of fact. That was one of the reasons the turkey was so important to the very first settlers. You know, the story of the Pilgrims and all that, and the turkey. But that was for the reason the turkey figured prominent in it, because there were lots of turkeys. And they were relatively easy to kill, relatively easy to get. Out at Cumberland Gap National Park, there's a copy of a letter that a guy who went with Daniel Boone over to Boonesboro, you know, which is pretty close to Lexington area of Kentucky. Anyway, it's well over 200 miles, the trip that he took. It started right down here from the Long Island Holston. And that was just below the confluence of the Watauga and the Holston Rivers. And the party began at the Long Island Holston. And again at Long Island Holston. Came down through here just past out a mile or so where I'm sitting now. Made its way on out to Cumberland Gap and across Cumberland Gap in Kentucky, and then sort of north and west up toward Lexington, toward the Boonesboro area. And in that letter, the guy made a phenomenal statement. He said from the time they left Long Island to Holston till they got to their destination, that they were in one continuous flock of turkeys. You talk about a distance of way over 200 miles. One continuous flock of turkeys. Amazing. And then, prior to that time, when Thomas Walker come through the area and surveyed off, you know, a lot of, actually the first white man probably through Cumberland Gap, preceded Daniel Boone by quite a while. In the records of their trip, it lasted a few months. I don't remember exactly what, but I think somewhere around 7 months or so. But anyway, I might be wrong on that time period. I have to go back and look that up again. But anyway, in some of these notes he was talking about they killed so many buffalo and so many elk and so many deer and whatever, but the thing that they killed the most of, the animal they killed the most of, was black bear. Black bear were quite plentiful and highly sought after. Highly sought after. today, a lot of people are just not into eating bear that much, but they certainly were back then. But the bear served a lot of purposes. I mean, they could render the fat down and get oils and all that for cooking and preserving and for keeping their flintlocks oiled up and everything. It was and of course the hide, the bear hide, for rugs and robes and coats and everything else. You know, a lot of bears. And right now, we have a fair bear population through the area now. Pretty good turkey population. And a pretty good whitetail. No buffalo, even though I'm going to hunt some here in a few minutes. There's no buffalo left. And there are elk. Elk have been reintroduced into Kentucky. There's quite a herd of elk in Kentucky, and that's just over the mountain right here. Quite a herd of elk over there. I've actually had 3 elk on the farm here at one time. But anyway, the elk have been introduced in Kentucky, West Virginia, Tennessee, and North Carolina. I'm pretty much surrounded by elk around here, but they're relatively small herds, you know, usually numbered in the hundreds. And in Kentucky, they're numbered in thousands. There's the largest elk herd east of the Rockies is in Kentucky. And of course, each of the state, they have a elk hunt every year. And of course, I apply for it. And so far, for some strange reason or other, I hadn't been drawn. Like this year, Virginia is on its, I believe it's second or third elk hunt. Anyway, they've issued 6 permits. 6. You know, I didn't get one of them. Even though I've applied every time, I still haven't got one. And Kentucky issues something like 30 or thereabout for non-resident tags, and I've applied for those and hadn't got one of those either. Amazing, ain't it? Anyway, I'll keep applying, but we do have elk in the vicinity. But the deer and turkey hunting is pretty good around here, and the bear is pretty good. But today, while out here on the wilds of the Virginia frontier, I'm going to keep an eye out for hostiles, whether it be the French or the Indian, either Cherokee or Shawnee, because this is hunting grounds for both. And I'm going to be doing some hunting to lay in a part of my winter supply of meat. And I've already laid in a few hundred pounds of salt, so I can salt all my game down and preserve it for winter. So I'm going to be hunting today for buffalo, elk, black bear, turkey, and whitetail. And if a wolf or mountain lion comes by, I'll take him too. The hides on those things are quite valuable. So I'm hunting today for a target of opportunity. Whatever target gives me the opportunity at it, that's the one that's going to get shot at. I'm going to put this old Tennessee poor boy. It's put a lot of game on the table. We'll see how much more we can put on the table today. But anyway, I got to get her all loaded up here and ready to rock and roll. I'm not sure they used that terminology back in the 1700s, but maybe they did and maybe they didn't. But anyway, I'm getting ready to rock and roll here. Load this thing up. Just got her all loaded up. And I've got it loaded with some really coarse powder. And I did not bring my little priming horn with 4F in it, so I normally use 3F powder and everything. And I prime straight from the horn. I'm going to be priming from the horn today with this very coarse powder. So we'll see. We're going to see how well that goes. Hopefully pretty good, but we're going to find out. Start wandering around through these woods here now. See what kind of critters I can find to shoot at. think it's about time to take a break from this buffalo and bear hunting I've been doing today. Have a little bit of refreshment out here on the wild frontier. Like I said before, I mean, we're lucky that Sprite Springs is just right down on the Wilderness Road here, just a short distance. And the old gentleman down there bottles these things, or cans these things, so I lay in a supply of them, so when I'm out here on the game trail, I stop and have a little refreshment from time to time, but that Sprite hits the spot. It's good ice cold, even if it's a little on the warmer side. Go along with it. Sounds like that one snapped. Now I find these Belvita, these little crunchy Belvita bars from that same old frontier from down here. Looks pretty good. So I'm gonna have me a Belvita bar and Sprite for a little snack here. I just had a little bit of Smucker's peanut butter put on it, and that would be life on the wild frontier at its highest. This is kind of like living on high on the hog out here right now. Belvita bar and Sprite. Life on the wild Virginia frontier. Don't get much better. That's fact. Haven't seen the first buffalo today either. Or else neither, come to think of it. Nope. Got a few bears, a few whitetails. I reckon I'll have to settle for that. Wouldn't mind get a turkey a little bit later. You never know. Buffalo might come through in here a little while too. Buffalo tongue could, boy, would that be tasty cooked over the fire this evening. Buffalo tongue or buffalo hump, either one. Maybe I'd rather have a tongue. But I gotta get him before I make that choice. This is actually rather coarse reenactor powder that I'm using in this thing today. No priming powder. So I'm amazed that I've had 2 clacks and no flash. All day, it's all I've had. Despite the fact that it's really coarse powder. And that flint has had a lot of use. It might need to be replaced. Or at least sharpened. Anyway, I'm pleased with the performance out of this thing so far today. Well, overall, it's been a really good day here on the wild frontier of Western Virginia. Even though French and Indian Wars really wound up right now, I've been fortunate enough I haven't run into any hostiles today. I've already got like I said, several hundred pounds of salt laid up. Oh, what I got today, the buffalo and the elk and the bear and the deer and everything that I've got today, that'll be enough to tide me and mine through the winter. So it's been a good day. And I did, old poor boy rifle here, he's done a good job today, a really good job. And I've got a lot of game today. I'm sure I've got enough to do me for the winter. And my poor boy, it's worked wonders today. It's done its job. In spite of the fact that I've been using reenactor powder all day. And That stuff can be kind of hard to ignite, you know, particularly priming straight from the pan with it. So it needs a pretty good spark. And I did take the time to resharpen that flint a little bit. I had a couple of clacks. Of course, that flint, it's getting pretty worn down anyway. I'm notorious for getting all the good out of the flint that I can get. No sense in wasting flint. But anyway, I did sharpen it a little bit. I've only had 2 clacks today, failure to ignite the powder. So that's pretty good considering the powder I'm using and priming from the pan and all that. And the fact is, with all the critters that I got today, I managed to do all that, like I said, with reenactor powder and just a big wad of tow for a projectile. I've not loaded the first lead ball on anything today. And it's just been a good wad of tow. And by golly, it did the job. That stuff is wonderful. So, Joe that turned me on to the use of tow, I appreciate that. I'm using tow a lot. But anyway, I'm at the end of my hunt here. As far as I'm going to hunt away from camp. So I'm going to start hunting my way back to camp. I might pick up another critter or 2 along the way. So I'm going to be loaded up and ready just in case something walks out in front of me. Let's get loaded back up and start heading back toward the camp. Like I said, today, I've been using as a projectile tow. Now, I generally always use tow as an over the powder wad, you know, to protect my main patch. But it also works good when you're shooting all these critters with blanks. As I said, I've been using reenactor powder, and I've been seeing how many of these fires and buffalo and all that I could get with just shooting them with a wad of tow. So far, it's been a total success. Ain't a one of them got away. Kind of amazing. Has a lot of advantages too. It weighs a lot less than lead balls. Carry a lot more of it. The weight, how much you have to tote around when you're out here all by your lonesome out here on the frontier of Western Virginia. Huh? Weight's a mighty big factor. think that's all the meat that I can handle for one day. That water toad, we went right down. Stuff's amazing. Well, like I said, it's been a great day out here on the frontier. A lot of meat taken in. Hadn't run into any hostiles. No French, no hostile Indians. I believe I'm going to be able to keep all the meat that I shot today. I'll get it down here and start salting it down for my winter supply. And while I can't get salted down, I'll just go ahead and stick the freezer. I know that's hard to believe, but out here on the wild frontier, I got me a freezer. Got two of them, matter of fact. Life on the wild frontier. Pretty good these days. It may have been tough back in the 1700s. Pretty good these days. Thankful for it. Talk soon.